Are you tired of not having any money in your wallet?
I know I am.
Are you tired of not having any money in your bank account?
I know I am.
Well, you are in luck. Eric Hansen here with the Federal Reserve. The Federal Reserve System is a privately owned, publicly controlled central bank of the United States and has been serving you since the bank failures of 1907 and Congress bill written in 1913. The Federal Reserve was created to foster a healthy economy and to help be responsive for local liquidity needs. You see, the banks used to go in panics and run out of money. And so the government made the Federal Reserve in order to supervise and regulate the banks. The regulations were written rules and laws for the banks to follow, and the supervision was enforcement. Let's invite up Jerome H. Powell, a member of the 7th Board of Governors in the Federal Reserve.
Thank you, Mr. Hansen, for having me.
Mr. Powell.
Yes.
Always a pleasure.
Yes.
To start off, Jerome, if I may.
Of course.
Jerome H. Powell, if I also may. Why are you here?
Well, I'm here to remind you, the population, that we, the Board of Governors, are here to help you. From affordable housing, consumer banking laws, to interstate banking and electronic commerce.
I mean, that's not that much. You guys do anything else to help the people?
Ah, yes. We also ensure that commercial banks operate responsibly and comply with federal regulations and that the nation's payment systems function smoothly.
Wow! Now that is a lot.
Well, but we aren't done yet, Mr. Hansen. We also oversee the activities of the Reserve Banks, approve the appointments of the presidents, and members of the Reserve Bank's boards of directors. However, our most important responsibility is participating on the FOMC committee and control the nation's monetary policy.
Wow. Now you just blew my mind.
Always a pleasure.
You must be a very busy and very important gentleman.
Indeed I am.
But I have a question. You mentioned the regional reserves. What are those? And do you guys help them out, or do you just let them go?
Well, to put it plainly, the 12 regional banks are the lifelines from the government to the consumer's economy. Each bank is located in one of 12 districts, and they are in charge of conducting research on the local and national economies, supervise local banks in the regional process, the treasuries, and sell the treasury securities, assist the cash management and investments of the treasury, help in the preparation of the bank presidents for the FOMC, and disseminate information with speeches and the internet, which makes the economy easier to understand for the citizens within their region.
You just keep bringing up great topics for us. Now, the FOMC.
Yes.
What is that? What does it stand for? Any quick topics on it?
The FOMC, to put it plainly, is the Federal Open Market Committee. If you don't mind, we have a quick movie that we can show you.
Oh, I don't mind at all. Roll tape.
The FOMC isn't helpful.
The FOMC helps us every single day. FOMC. Alright, what's the first thing it does? Helps with the local banks. Without the local banks, where are you going to put your money? Are you just going to keep it from the robber to come in, oh hey look, free money, and walk away? Boom, your life done. Like that. You're living on the streets. You're going to die in 3 years.
With money. See, money. It's about the money, man.
Who's going to run the Federal Reserve without the FOMC? Congress?
And how do you like working? Do you like working? Do you like working?
I love working.
Working. I don't like working, but I like the money that comes from it. You see, the FOMC, Federal Open Market Committee, they are there to help that. They promote maximum employment. Riddle me this. You go to the gas station, you go up, you fill up, $3.93 a gallon. That's not good, but it ain't too bad. You go up next time. You go next time, it's at $8.93 a gallon. You like that? Tell me this, do you like that? You see, the FOMC, Federal Open Market Committee, we stay to ensure stable prices so the prices don't jump around like that, because that ain't good for the economy.
So, Justin, you have a car?
Yeah.
Yeah. What model?
Toyota Camry.
Toyota Camry. You buy it new?
Used.
Used? You pay interest on it?
Yeah.
Yeah. What's your interest? 3%? 4% a month? Maybe? Yeah.
Yeah.
You know what FOMC does? We keep your interest rates low. Without FMC, you know you'd be paying for that car?
No.
You'd be paying 25% a month or more interest rate.
Hey man,
You can't afford that. The FOMC is saving your bacon, bud. Without the FOMC, you'd be nothing. You'd be living in the street. That Toyota Camry you drive, forget about it. You'd be riding a Schwinn to work every single day. You have kids?
No.
No kids? Thank God. Because if you had kids and the FOMC wasn't around, guess where they'd be? Guess where they'd be?
Where?
And they'd be in the graveyard. You know why? They'd starve to death. Because you couldn't afford to put food on the table. No food on the table, interest rates too high, your life is over. Okay, that's why we need the FOMC. We keep things working. Without us, without the FOMC, life as you know it stops.
what an enthralling video you guys made there.
Oh, we try our best, Mr. Hansen.
Well, it was a pleasure having you on the show.
Yes, thank you so much.
Okay, Jerome.
And tell your wife and kids I said hi.
Okay, I will.
How much am I
Mr.
getting paid for this?
Okay.
By the way.
Good luck on your FOMC. Now it is my pleasure to welcome up our next expert, FOMC member himself, Richard W. Fisher, representing the Federal Reserve from Dallas, Texas.
Hello, Eric. Thank you for having me here today to help explain what the Federal Reserve can do for them.
Well, thank you for coming, Richard.
My pleasure.
Now, start off. What is the purpose of the FOMC?
The FOMC remains firmly committed to staying to what its word that it will promote maximum employment, stable prices, and affordable long-term interest rates. We also work to soundly illustrate to the public clearly the decisions we make regarding monetary policy. We make it easier for you.
Monetary policy?
That's right.
Well, how could you explain that to them?
Well, you see, Eric, the goal of monetary policy is to maintain low inflation rates, ergo providing for a healthier economy. Our policymakers are forward thinkers and can predict what is going to happen with the economy and act before any economic changes occur. The three tools we use to carry out these economic goals are the discount rate, or the interest rate that reserve banks charge other banks for short-term loans, reserve requirements, or the portion of deposits that each and every bank needs to have in their inventory, and lastly, the open market operations, which is the purchasing and selling of bonds.
That was a great description, Richard. Now, do you know where the banks are and how each region is structured and organized?
Of course, let me tell you. Well, the regional structure is divided into 12 different regions with one reserve bank in each. However, there are multiple branches of reserve banks throughout the U.S. in total. There are 24 branches and 12 banks, which make up 36 different locations. The main purpose of these branches of the banks are to offer financial services to smaller local banks. The 12 reserve banks are also to serve and actually enforce the rules on the banks.
You mentioned the financial services.
I did.
What's that all about?
Basically, we are the banks for the bankers. We give out tangible money, process checks, and even let people pay electronically.
What a smoking deal!
It is, you betcha. For instance, do you remember Y2K?
Those are some crazy, at times apocalyptic seeming times.
Yeah, people took out tons of money out of fear that the banks would suddenly crash at the stroke of midnight. Not only did we work to prevent that, we made sure that there was enough money for the banks to give out.
What an incredible product this Federal Reserve is.
Yeah.
Man, Joy, am I glad we have it. Always keeping it well stocked and helping the economy flow. This is absolutely incredible.
It is.
Well, for one low price of your taxes, which you are already paying, you get the Federal Reserve. The Federal Reserve is great. And yeah, That's about it.
I know I am.
Bye.